So wherever you are as a teacher, you convey that message which you learned from the tradition. So we will go a little deeper into this sutra. Klesh karma vipak ashaye paramrastah purush vishesh ishwarah. So in the 2 weeks ago, Patanjali says you can also meditate on Ishvara, the God. But here it is not the God of an organized religion. It is not the God of an organized religion. So he defines the God. How he defines the God? He makes us understand. The next sutra will blow your mind. That we will take up next week. So here he says, Klesh karma vipaka. Klesh means affliction, kleshas. Karma vipak means the fruits of an action. Ashaya means accumulation of those past impressions in our mind. Aparamrashta. Here he says, untouched. How many times we fought with our honey? The moment I said this, or anyone, or your friend, or your parents, do you still have those impressions? Yes, I still have those impressions. I feel pain. Many people talk, we normally talk, 10 years ago, during the childhood, I was abused, and then I still carry that trauma. We talk a lot about this in our country. So what is one definition of this God? He is untouched by no accumulation of any past impressions. No accumulation. He is totally free. He is not seeking the fruits of an action, and he is not suffering at all. And then Purush Vishesh Ishwaraha. Ishwara is one name given to the God, but Purush Vishesh, he is a spatial being. Why he is a spatial being? Why I am not a spatial being? That we need to understand clearly. What is our first person experience? We feel pain, we feel pleasure, we feel sorrow, we are happy at one time, attached at different time, deluded at third time. Today you are my honey, and after a few years, I lost that honey. I have second honey and the third honey. Why this happens? Have we ever asked ourselves? That is what our first person experience, because we are attached. We feel ourselves limited. Why we feel ourselves limited? Because we do not know who we are. So what should be our goal of life? I should know who am I. And then the master Patanjali says, you are Ishvara. If conditional. What is that first condition? That are you free from the ego? What is ego? Ego is limited. Ego limits us. Ego means that I exclude the entire world from myself. Take this example. I exclude completely myself from the world. That creates some ego. So first condition, free from ego. Second is, I am not seeking the fruits of an action. Does the earth sends you the bill because you are staying on the earth? Does the space sends you the bill? And I'm not talking of municipality. I'm not talking of the township. Does the air sends you the bill? Why you are breathing me? So the master is hinting the same way we should perform all our karma. The more karma action, the more karma that you do, free from desiring the fruits of an action and free from the ego, the life then what happens? I just talked about spatial person. That spatial person, spatial being is Ishvara. So I become the Ishvara. No, I am already, but I do not know. I am in ignorance. So what should I do? I must have the right knowledge. Simply we say, if I don't know what we say, I don't know. So what is the solution? Let me know it. This is what the master is saying. So why Ishvara? Ishvara is a spatial being. So here, other masters explain that spatial being is free from affliction, klesha. What are the 5 kleshas? Lack of awareness of reality. And then it causes ego, that is known as asmita. Asmita causes attachment and detachment, and it leads to abhinivesha, the extreme clinging to the body. If I'm clinging to the body, then I'm an individual. If I'm not clinging to the body, then what happens? Let me understand. I should understand clearly and separate myself from where I am attached. I enter into the status of a spatial being. Let me answer another question, that why I am suffering if I am potentially Ishvara. Can you answer that? Because we are not aware of the potential. That real self is of the nature of permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. I do not know. So when I do not know, then, but I am in need of the love, but I do not know I am the love. So what I will do? I will ask you all, can you love me so that I can also love you? So I enter into seeking something. From where? From outside. So I see you, I like you, and I say I love you, but you say, I am also suffering from, I don't have love. So I am seeking love from the person outside who doesn't know what the love and the peace is, how it is possible. That is why I give an example of first dating, then we become soulmate. After a few months, that mercury of the physical pleasure goes down, then the emotional and mental differences arise, then we become a sour mate. Then we find other. So what the master, what I'm answering, why I'm suffering if I'm potentially that real self? Because of ignorance. The entire journey of meditation, yoga, is to remove your ignorance. Where lies the ignorance? Ignorance lies in the mindlessly, in you, in your mind. What should we do? We should practice meditation daily, regularly. I was just talking to Stephen and Sam, they talk to each other. They communicate on these principles. Let us discuss about these principles. Consciously you talk about it. You see the difference between the science, the approach of the science. I have anxiety, so 10 years ago, I had this incident and then I entered into the stress. Every time you talk about this. So what will happen? You are accumulating these impressions again and again. I'm not going against that, Lara. Whatever is your profession, I'm not going against. Now see, you are talking of peace and happiness. It is well-established principle which is almost 6,000 years old. You start talking how if peace is my essential nature, challenge your mind. Why I am having an anxiety, why I am angry, why I am agitated. become angry over your anxiety, tension. Challenge it. No, we don't challenge. Who doesn't live in stress in modern life during COVID-19? You see, we become a philosopher with negative attitude in the mind. And that causes lot of problems. So here, this principle comes to the, if it goes to the mind, then you find out, oh, what a beauty. So what should we do? One, that is why we talk. That is why the teachers always, in that tradition, talks on the principles already taught for the last 6,000 years. Why? These principles are never changing principles. But why? Because that real self is never changing entity within all of us. So what is never changing, their principles will also be never changing. So there you see, you cannot compare science with the Eastern wisdom, principles of the Eastern wisdom. 100 years ago, scientists says matter consists of atom. At 100 years ago, did the matter not consist of electron, proton, and neutron? Yes, it was there. But the scientists they did not know it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? They did not know it. So they removed the ignorance. 60 years ago, they said atom consists of electron, proton, and neutron. You see the meaning of the Latin word atom? It will blow your mind. It simply says indivisible. Now they have divided the same atom into electron, proton, and neutron. Not only this, almost 40 years ago, I think Daniel know that this atom consists of more than 32 particles. And the latest understanding that this particle acts as a wave. So there comes the quantum physics. Now tell me, the same matter, it was present 100 years ago, did not consist of these electron, proton, and neutron? Did they change? So progress of the science means I remove ignorance. Scientists remove ignorance progressively, step by step. But when we talk of the real self remains the real self, whether it was 10,000 years ago or it is now. So the Eastern wisdom and their principles are still relevant. Now we go a little deeper. That formless, that Ishwar, that God, if we use this word, or real self, is formless. Why it is formless? That is how it can be omniscient. That is how it can be omnipresent. If I say the kingdom of God is within you and the God is within you and God has some shape in the form, maybe like the shape in the form of a Daniel, so how the Daniel can enter into my heart? That does not make a sense. So you see, the Patanjali says that real self is formless. Do I feel that I am formless? I have already realized that. Why I don't feel I am formless? Because I live in ignorance. So what should I do? I should remove the ignorance. How to remove the ignorance? By studying these principles and doing the regular practice. See that? Very 100% clear. So what it says, that real self is of the nature of consciousness, And that consciousness has everlasting, never changing attribute of love. So, love is within me, of permanent happiness. That happiness is within me. I am peace and I am happiness. I may suffer from anxiety and the stress, but my nature means I am peace and happiness. I am peace and happiness. So it is that real self is formless. Formless. So now see that, I remember another traditional text. I used to do it regularly. I did it almost for 6, 7 years. Now, what he says, what that text says. It is from the Mandukya, and it is a part of the Upanishad. So, what it says, and then I will literally translate. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shanti Rupen Sanstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Nama. Now, see the literal meaning. So, the seeker is addressing to the goddess. What he is addressing? O goddess, you are present deep inside my heart as permanent peace. That is why I am doing namaste, namaste, namaste to you. Where you are seated? Deep inside my heart. And what I am doing? I am doing namaste, namaste, namaste. So, what is the meaning of namaste here? Namaha. Not me. When I am not, then you are present. So, what is this I am not? This is the ego. What ego does? It makes me limited. I am the body. I am the breath. I am the mind. I am the teacher. As Brandy was saying that I was the teacher of David and Jerry. I told her that I will also become your student. Maybe I'll have a better chance. You see that? Now see another. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Kanti Rupena Sanstita. O Goddess, you are seated deep inside my heart as a glow, as a brightness, as a wisdom. That is why I am doing namaste, namaste, namaste to you. What it means, where your mind goes. When you are reciting this, your mind goes deeper inside because that goddess is seated in you. Nothing is outside. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Sanstita. O goddess, you are seated deep inside my heart as wisdom, as knowledge. So I have to reveal that knowledge within me. That is the entire journey of yoga and meditation. See that? It becomes very clear to us what exactly we are searching. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. There is a long mantra. Om Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Nama. Namo Prakriti Bhadrayai Niyata Pranatasmatam Rudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauriyai Dhatrai Namo. No, it's a very long recitation. Consists of almost 70 or 80 lines. So when you are doing it, reciting it, and every time you go with that meaning, and the meaning directs your mind deep inside the heart, you enter into the silence. That is another way of meditating. The mind is not running after. So every practice, the way it has been discovered and created, huh, only one goal: remove the ignorance. What is that ignorance? What ignorance does? It makes me limited being. What is that limited being? I am son, I am father, I am daughter, I am American, I am African. Huh? This all pertains to the body. And when the mind totally sits in the body, it covers that knowledge. It veils my real self. So I have to break this bondage by listening to the principles, reflecting on the principles, and regular practice. That is what Master says, what he says. Huh? Shravanam, I do not know, let me know it. Second point, I do not understand, let me understand, Leslie. Don't leave anything. Doubt. You have a right to ask the question first to your mind that what you want to know. And then to the teacher, learning these principles, reflecting on it, and then regular practice. We'll talk next week. That will help you and also blow your mind. But if you keep that knowledge all the time with you, there is another way to define and understand this God. But just, it came to my mind. Normally, when we say we use the God, we say there should be a six attributes: complete splendor, one, virtue, two, glory, three, opulence, four, knowledge, five, dispassion, six. If you have all these six attributes with you, you are there. Where? You have discovered the real self. That's another way. There are many ways. Let us start our journey and we will practice meditation now, and then we will share our experience.